Hello, TIOmarkets, and welcome to this daily market commentary for Thursday, July 11th, 2019. First of all, my apologies for no commentary yesterday, both written and audio. I spent the day in the beautiful US city of Philadelphia, but back to my normal world today. Normal service has resumed. So what's happened? What's been happening over the last 48 hours? Let's start on crypto. Well, from a crypto perspective, I'm kind of glad I waited till late in the day on Thursday here to put pen to paper and voice to microphone. Crypto had a pretty rough day on Wednesday, and that would not get better today on Thursday, largely due to Fed Chairman Powell's comments that the Fed had a lot of concern over Facebook's Libra. Of course, they would. That's what the Fed's job is, and probably other central banks would share similar sentiment. The whole idea, obviously, with any cryptocurrency is to replace the traditional means of payment and replace it with one over which the central banks have no control. So, not overly surprising comments from Mr. Powell, but enough to take a market that might have rallied just a little bit too far and turn it pretty sharply. What we saw today was a continuation of that move lower, and at the very end of today, we saw a very sharp move down in BTC and also in ETH right at the end of the New York trading day. So overall, we've seen a drop in Bitcoin has dropped just, I think, from a high of around 13,200 to a low today just under 11,000. And we've seen ETH drop from, I think, around a 310 level yesterday down to a low of 262 today, just ahead of a significant level, which you can all see on the chart here, which we will get to momentarily. Once again, it's a herd mentality for crypto. Everyone heads for the exit doors at the same time, and no rhyme or reason necessarily behind it. Market just panics. So I think we are going to see more of the same through July. When you get comments and headlines out, the market will react to it before hopefully a sense of calm returns and some of the volatility dies down a bit. But I think it's safe to say a lot of more headlines going to be coming out on Facebook's Libra. So keep your eyes open. For other asset markets, pretty much every market was fixated on Fed Chairman Powell's two committee testimonies over the past 48 hours, other than the comments he's just made on crypto and on Libra. Obviously, he had plenty to say around interest rates, and as we know, the market has been a bit nervous that near-term interest rate cut may be pushed back due to a stronger than expected NFP number last Friday. Everyone hanging pretty much on every word. Cut a long story short, he still advocated the conditions were potentially right to cut rates. That meant that the dollar took a leg lower. We saw euro dollar bounce back up to 112.60. We've seen Aussie back up to 0.6975. We've seen sterling back up to 125.30. We've also seen US equities, for the most part, trading pretty well. We saw the Dow Jones making an all-time record close today. So everything feels reasonably good. Got a little bit of comfort from Mr. Powell's words, but not everything is totally clear cut. This morning we had some stronger than expected US inflation data, which took the market a little bit by surprise, and the bond market was really the main one to react, with the US 10-year yield running back up to 2.15%, which is now a good 20 basis points off the recent lows. And also, despite the Dow Jones rallying, a whopping 227 points today, closing at all-time high, both the NASDAQ index and also the Russell index, which tends to focus more on small cap stocks, both ended lower. So gold started the day with a drop down to 1390, ended up back up at 1405. So It sounds a little confusing. There's enough out there to make traders think that the Fed will cut rates, but stronger data sets, such as stronger inflation, better employment data, certainly has people nervous. And I think the bond market may be sending a message to other markets that maybe we've come far enough for now. Maybe there's enough of a rate cut priced in. Rest of July is likely to be volatile and choppy, as we've seen over the past few sessions, as we all wait for this Fed meeting. So moving on to a little bit of technical analysis before we call it a day here, and I thought I'd go back to the crypto world and go and have a quick look at Ethereum against the US dollar. As mentioned, we've had a sizable sell-off over the past 48 hours, which has market players tripping over themselves really to exit positions. Nothing particularly new there. However, from a technical perspective, ETH has actually behaved quite well. And if you just look back at this daily chart here, hourly chart, you can see this is going back really to just over the past 48 hours. You see you've sort of got a little bit of a head and shoulders formation going on here. You got a really nice breakdown through short-term support there around 302.30, and then in a couple of legs, obviously we've got big momentum down there around towards 280, quick rally up to 290, and then this morning we had a very sharp sell-off, a good $20 from 282 down to a low of around 262, just ahead of this support line here at 261. A couple of other efforts to rally back above 275 during the afternoon. In New York, failed miserably, and again a late day drop back down to around about 263 area. And as you can see from this chart, which will be live at time of writing, we're trading around just under 267. 261 really is a bit of a line in the sand here, I think. We've had, going back here to the middle of June, and we've had the breakup here through that level. We've had a couple of attempts here in mid-June to go through it, failed. We've had another attempt here at the beginning of July to go through it, failed. We pretty much had two good goes to go through there today, and thus far failed. Be a big call to say that it won't, that it will hold and will bounce from here, but you can see the importance of this level. So by the time you get to read this, we may well have already broken through it, but it's certainly a level I think you'll want to watch, and will act as a pivot. Going forward to the top side, very short term, we need to get back above 275 probably pretty quickly, and then beyond there back above the 290 level. So that's ETH for you. As I said, 261. That's your level to keep an eye on right now. And with that, one more day left in the week for everybody not a crypto trader, and for you crypto traders, well, hey, the fun never ends, right? Friday is almost upon us. I wish you all the very best of luck on the last day of the week, and I look forward to wrapping things up with you tomorrow. Cheers.